You guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like Fresh Start Friday, y'all see my white background? It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. There's a reason for the white background. It's all going to flow together. Today is Fresh Start. When you come in, tell me good morning. Tell me good morning, because I'm really, really excited. Today's going to be a little different. I do have a theme song, but not a theme song, but a morning movement. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Miss Susan. Good morning, Teresa. I'm ready for Fresh Start Friday. Fresh Start Friday. Why? Because this is going to be amazing. Y'all ready? Because good morning, Veronica. Listen. I'm super excited about Fresh Start Friday. Why? Because we're going to understand what that means. So that explains my white background. Like we had to tone it down because it was real bright when we started. So we had to tone it down because there's a reason that the background is white. Oh, I'm so excited. So good morning, Kevin. Fresh Start Friday. Fresh Start Friday. Now, I do have a song that I want to play for us this morning because we need to understand what Fresh Start means. And we're going to just put all this stuff together, y'all. So I'm going to play this song for y'all this morning. And then I'm only going to play like a couple of seconds because this is how we do. Y'all ready? All right, hold on. Now, y'all got to let me know if y'all understand what it's saying. It's a new season. Oh, it's a whole new day. Y'all ready? A fresh anointing. And I need y'all to focus on that word anointing because we going somewhere today. And it's flowing your way. This is your season of power because you've been empowered. And prosperity comes with empowerment because that comes with freedom. It's a new season, y'all. It's a new season, Miss Susan. It's a new season, Miss Veronica. It's a new season, Miss Janet. Listen. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm ready to get busy. It's fresh and it's flowing your way. But when I tell y'all what that means, it's going to blow your mind. And what? Because it's a new season. That's all I want to hear. That's all I wanted. Now I'm ready. That's the only part I wanted. I wanted y'all to get in y'all head that today is Fresh Start Friday. Right? We gonna get into it. We got to understand what this stuff means. That's the reason that my background is white like it is, because this is your fresh start, right? You ain't got all that stuff on there, right? But you got to understand what fresh start means. So we finna take some definitions, right? Because y'all know how I do. We not gonna be out here saying stuff and this stuff don't make no kind of sense, and then we looking special. So let's start with the word fresh because it's Fresh Start Friday, right? So the word fresh is as such. Hold on, let me put my phone on do not disturb because all kind of stuff started popping up. Okay, fresh, right? You guys ready? Fresh, recently made or obtained, not canned, frozen, or otherwise preserved. So in other words, this day has not been canned. This is fresh. This morning, this is your fresh. But that ain't even it. That ain't even it. So I need y'all to think, when we think fresh, we're not thinking canned. We're not thinking processed. We're thinking this thing is fresh. It's organic. It's in its rightful state. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Not previously known or used, new or different. Right? So this day was not previously known. Not to you. You don't know how this day gonna go because this is your fresh start. Right? Now we're going to talk about it as a verb. Come into being. Being or to be reckoned from a particular point in time or space. Cause to happen. Right? Because remember, yesterday we were talking about all our dysfunctions, our insecurities. We were talking about so many things on yesterday. What's your trigger? Because when you become self-aware, it gives you a new and fresh outlook on what it is that's been happening. And because self-awareness empowers you, it gives you the ability to have a fresh start. See, dysfunction don't want that fresh start. Dysfunction, oh, okay. I'm passing myself, right? So now, as the noun for fresh, because fresh got a lot of definitions. The point in time or space to which something has its origin, the beginning. So we are at the beginning of our day. yet it's still dark outside in some places. Y'all ready? Y'all feel me on this? But because we've been in captivity for so long, all we know is darkness. We don't know fresh start. We don't have windows because we are confined to this space. Why? Because we felt unprotected, right? But in a fresh start, that ain't even, okay, I'm ready. Now, this is the one I really like. A sudden movement of surprise or alarm. Because of empowerment, what happens with that is it startles dysfunction. See, dysfunction is used to a routine. In dysfunction, you have to have a routine. It cannot be by surprise. Dysfunction cannot handle surprises. It cannot handle a shift. It cannot handle a change in your movement. Dysfunction has to have order in order to continue you in the chaos. Dysfunction can't handle fresh starts because it surprises them. When you don't do what you normally do, don't it surprise people? When you don't go off, don't people say, I'm surprised you ain't go off? That's right, because it's my fresh start. Right? When you don't go, when Pookie or Twan call you because you know you don't got no business over there, they're shocked. Why are they shocked? Because you're doing something they were not expecting you to do. It caused alarm to the dysfunction. So now, since we've been doing this now, literally 4 weeks, today marks week 4 that we have been going live, dysfunction is confused because it's not sure how, wait a minute, because it's not able to control you like it used to, because you have been evolving into your fresh start. Remember, a caterpillar starts on the ground, then it gets to a place where it has to cocoon itself, and the only person that can bring it out is it. Because if anybody else bring it out, it'll never fly. Remember, we learned that like many weeks ago, like a couple of weeks ago, right? So, I'm so excited, y'all. Let me know if I'm talking too fast. Let me know if I'm talking too fast, right? So, now, keep that in mind. A sudden movement of surprise or alarm. So, this morning, dysfunction was surprise. Because some of you ain't do what you normally do. Some of you didn't wake up feeling how you normally feel. So what's starting to happen is that dysfunction is like, wait. Before she went to bed, I tried to make sure that I tried to entangle her in that. Before he went to bed, I tried to make sure that I entangled him in that. Y'all ready? So now we're going to talk about past. And the only reason we're going to talk about past is because, oh no, let's start with start. So fresh was that. Start was the cause to happen. A sudden movement of surprise or alarm. So it's like when you're on a track and they go and they shoot the gun. Remember, it triggers something and you start. This is a fresh start. You at the starting. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Now let's talk about the word past. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because yesterday when I was talking with one of my clients, they was like, because you understand past and history, they don't even have the same definition. They don't even mean the same thing. And I was like, yeah, that do make sense. But it's finna go with this fresh start. So good, y'all. So good, so good, so good. Y'all ready? So what does the definition of past mean? Gone by in time and no longer existing, right? So in past, like when something is in your past, you don't necessarily have a chronological, like it's like I remember that person, but I don't. That's because that person's in your past. They no longer exist. I think we went to school together, but I'm not sure. That's your past. You got to understand something. History and past has two different understandings, but you have to understand that in order to pass certain things, okay, we're not done, right? So the preposition is to or on the other side. So my fresh start is going to enable me to go past some of this dysfunction because I have to evolve to the other side. So I can't stay here. I can't. When you got your fresh start Friday, you can't stay there because, you ready? Now, it's used to indicate a lapse of time. Oh, that's my past. That's in the past. Why? Because I don't do that no more. Because today my first start Friday. So it don't matter. I might have been there, but I'm on the other side today. Why? Because that's in my past. Why? Because I have to get to the other side. I have to evolve. I have to move forward. See, this thing is, what did I tell you guys? There are 4 pillars: acknowledge, accept, embrace, and evolve. Evolvement is about forward movement. You cannot evolve backwards. That's not even possible, right? So that's past. The one we're going to focus on is used to indicate the lapse of time. Like, boom, man, I can't even believe that it's already, what month this is? August? It seemed like it was just New Year's. Literally. This is already August. Lapse of time. It already went past. We went from January to August. It feels like in the blink of an eye. Why? Because we was in captivity. When you in captivity, you can't enjoy life because you don't understand how to I ain't there yet. Now we're going to discuss history, because this is where dysfunction likes to keep us, in history. Y'all ready? History is a chronological record of significant events, often including an explanation of their cases. In my history, because some of y'all, when you understand dysfunction, like to keep you in your history, but also make you deny it. The chronological fact of my history is that I was molested and I was violated. When you accept the fact and acknowledge that that's a part of my history, it cannot control you. But because you wanted to be in the past, you're going to continually keep passing by it because you don't want to acknowledge it as part of your growth, as part of your evolvement. Nobody wants to accept the ugly things of their history. But if you don't, you will constantly come past that same mountain over and over and over and over again, because you're refusing to acknowledge the chronological order it took for you to get to your purpose. We almost there, y'all. What is my history? My history is an established record. Remember, we have been discussing all this time, right, how we got here. It's not about me blaming somebody else. It's about me understanding that dysfunction wants to keep me from something, and dysfunction keeps a very negative record of things. Remember, I told you it's all in view and perspective, right? My dysfunction wanted me to believe that all the women in my family was just mean, hateful, and crazy, right? Because I'm thinking of my past, and I want to fly past that. I want to get to the other side. But when I chronologically look at the order of it and the record of it, what I see are not victims, but victorious women, because now I have been able to put it in order. Even though the dysfunction seemed to travel from generation to generation, when you're able to establish it in an order, you're able to pinpoint where it happened. I can't have a fresh start if I don't understand where I'm rooted from, where I'm coming from, where I'm grounded from, if I have not established and understood my record of history. Because if you do not understand your history, you will come past that mountain again and again and again and again, because you ain't figured it out. What is the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The reason you keep doing it over and over again, because you're not really taking note. You trying to make it your past. You got to acknowledge it. You have to accept it. You have to embrace it so you can evolve from it. If you're not willing to, so I can't do my history if I don't acknowledge my history. I can't have a fresh start, because some of y'all trying to have a fresh start with old baggage. That's not fresh start. That stuff has been canned, and you taking it with you. Understand this: when something is not fresh, it lasts longer. That's like generational curses. That's like generational dysfunction. We preserve that thing to last a long time. Because shelf life for dysfunction can be eternal. But when you wake up with each day in a different perspective as new, that other stuff that should not have been there begins to do what? It spoils. When it's not in its original, it cannot stay. Dysfunction, what did I tell y'all? Dysfunction is a virus that cannot live on a dead host. So if and when I decide that, you know what, I'm not going to keep preserving this garbage. I'm not going to keep canning it up. I'm not going to put it on the shelf so somebody else in my direct contact can get this virus. I am going to let this crap spoil, because I have to have my fresh start. When I accept my history as it is, when I accept the fact that this is a part of who I am, this is the order of it, but I have the ability to change the present state, because I've acknowledged the past state. And in my acknowledgement, I realize that's not working. In my acknowledge, I accept that didn't work. So now I'm going to embrace that that's not working, so I can evolve from it to my fresh start, so I can stop being a caterpillar that get in the cocoon stage and stay stuck. I am ready to soar, and the only way I'm going to do that is I have to acknowledge the order of my history. This is where it started from. This is how I got it. This is where it began at. But you're not going to be able to do none of this if you're not willing to embrace the fact that it's you, if you're not willing to acknowledge the fact that it's you, if you're not willing to accept the fact that it's you. Remember, we grown now. We can't keep blaming everything on our past because we want to get from one place to the next. No, ma'am. You got to look at that thing like history. And what we do with history, we study history. So supposedly we don't make the same mistakes that the previous generation made. But because we don't want to study the history, because we don't want to pull up that ugly dark side, we don't want to acknowledge that, you know what? Uncle Bobby Joe been molesting people since we could. I'm stepping on some stuff today, because you cannot have a fresh start if you're not willing to acknowledge the history. I promise you, if your uncle was touching you, he was touching your mama and them. He was touching your sisters and them. He was touching your cousins and them. But nobody wanted to acknowledge it, so they put it in a can and preserved his perversion. I promise you, you're not the first person in your family to be in an abusive relationship. But because nobody wanted to acknowledge it, they preserved it and put it on the can so somebody else can get it. See, dysfunction has a way of replicating itself. That's what a virus does. It replicates itself to keep the dysfunction going. Remember, what did I say? Dysfunction never wants you to rehabilitate. What they want you to do, what dysfunction wants you to do, is build another whole prison. That's you passing that nonsense down from your seed to the next seed, to the next seed, to the next seed. Because dysfunction don't want you to have a fresh start. Because when you do that, it allows you to get to your organic state. It allows you to get to that place where you know something, I can't be in this much longer, or I'm going to spoil here. Dysfunction is sent to kill you, but you have the ability to kill the dysfunction first. How is that? Because I'm acknowledging the history of it. Some of y'all don't like that self-reflection. When I tell you empowerment is all about self, when I tell you empowerment has nothing at all to do with what somebody else did to you, but everything to do about you. How did it affect you? So many times we want to focus on the witch and witchcraft that we bypass the craft. What is trying to be initiated? What it is trying to keep me from getting my fresh start? When I rest well, I see better. Okay. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I promise I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, so history, one that is finished or done for. See, the reason that cycle keep repeating itself in your family and in your life is because you have yet to finish it. You keep preserving it. You have yet to say, this is done. Remember, what did I say? I can, I will, and it's already done. That's how you get them fresh starts. But because you have yet to say, this is finished, this is the end of a thing. Some of y'all in some horrific relationships. So you got to understand, dysfunction will connect to other dysfunctional people, making you think that's your purpose. Because somebody else say that they man beat them morning, moon, and night, and now they the best couple in the world. That don't necessarily have to be my purpose. Because dysfunction mimics a thing. It does what? It creates, it attach itself so that way it can destroy the system and or network. Remember, it's a virus. It needs a living host. Now, you can't connect with your purpose. Because you are dysfunctional, it will manifest dysfunction. But purpose always evolves you. If I'm connected to something and it keep holding me to this past stuff, that is not my purpose. If I'm connected to something and all it keep manifesting is my dysfunction, that is not my purpose. I cannot have a fresh start when I am connected to dysfunction. Well, why is that? Because dysfunction is the opposite of purpose. They defeat the purpose. You cannot have one and the other. It has to be either or. They don't work hand in hand. Remember what we learned the other day. Dysfunction does what? It takes a horse and a jackass, and it puts it together and creates a mule. But the mule has no power to do what? To reproduce. Why? Because dysfunction has to stay in control of that thing. So how do I get my fresh start? I'm so excited. Wait a minute, y'all. So, history, previous treatment, handling, or experience. Because some of you holding on to the history of things that happen in your life, but because you have it in a confined space, nobody else can study the history. Because you don't want nobody to know your insecurities. You don't want nobody to know because you feel like you failed in that area. This is how we pass down generational curses. Because what we did with our history was we put it in something that preserved it so others could eat from it thinking it was okay. But you can't do that. You have to allow people to know your experiences. History teaches you what to do and what not to do. So if I had known, which I did, but I think if my mom them had known the relationship that my grandmother had, she never spoke about it. She never spoke about being abused. My grandmother never spoke about being tied to a tree and beat. See, y'all don't understand. Y'all think that this stuff, if I don't say nothing, then it won't. No, know what happened? She passed it down from herself to her children. So she got with my granddaddy, and he didn't beat her, but he was a homemonger. And so I started to look at the history of my family. Almost all my aunts have been in abusive relationships. Not all of them now, because some of my they're a little different. They got a little different type of anger. But the majority of them have been in abusive relationships. And nobody, I don't think they've ever had a discussion with each other. You know what, sis, you ain't got to be in this. You know what, you can make it out. Nobody didn't say that. You know what they did? They preserved it. They didn't expose the experience. They didn't allow others to see it and say, you know what, this is not right. What they did is they didn't talk about it and they put it on a shelf. But if you don't tell me this is bad for me because I don't see no expiration date, I'm going to take it as my own and say, well, my mama them ate it. My mama them did it and they didn't die from it. So clearly it's okay. No, it's not. But because I did not tell you how to handle it. I did not say, my mother never verbally said, Tisha, you don't want to be in an abusive relationship. She never said that. I said, if he hit me, if I'm dating anybody that hit me, I'm going to kill him. I said that, right? But that's not really what kept me from getting in an abusive relationship. My auntie never said, don't be in an abusive relationship, y'all. So most of my cousins were in very aggressive relationships. Nobody ever said, my mom used to say, you could tell me, Tisha, if somebody mess with you or touch you. She said that. She did tell me that. She did. She said, I'm not going to be mad at you and it's not going to be your fault. But when they had asked me if I had been molested and or violated because my cousin had finally been able to say something, right? I said no because my dad was in the bag and he was like, Tisha, did he mess with you? Because it's either hell or jail for me, but he got to die. And what he did not know was that the predator told me that if I said anything, that my dad would go to jail. So because my dad acknowledged that he was going to go to jail, I perceived it to be my fault. What I did not know is that my mom had been violated. I did not know that my auntie had been violated. I did not know that certain of my cousins had been violated. You know why? Because we didn't discuss the experience. We just preserved that garbage and set it on a shelf. So I need you to think about what experiences in your life have you put on a shelf and preserved for somebody else to come and eat that garbage. Because you don't want to expose. You want to stay confined to this little space without realizing that there is purpose in the process. When you understand that purpose does not look perfect and purpose is ugly. Let's just start with that. Purpose is ugly. You can't have a fresh start, this white wall, until you move all that crap off the shelf. And don't give it to nobody else. Throw that junk in the garbage. Don't decide today, I'm not passing this garbage down to my kids. I can't do that. That's not going to happen. So now what is purpose? Because we've talked about dysfunction, we talked about self-awareness, we talked about self-reflection, we talked about acknowledge, accept, embrace, and evolve, and all this other stuff in between. But what is purpose? Because we know dysfunction is the opposite of purpose. So purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. Purpose. Why are you here? Are you just here to do this, to pass this mountain long and keep going over and over and over and over again? No, I don't think that's why you're here. Were you here just to be a victim? Was I placed here just to be violated, just to be molested? Why am I here? What am I here for? Why am I here? What am I here for? Tell me what I'm doing here, because I don't know. See, that's the problem with trying to find your purpose. When you stop trying to find your purpose and you walk in it, that's freedom. Because I can't keep having these experiences in history and canning that stuff and preserving it for the next generation, because I don't want to expose, because I don't want people to see. But what you have to understand about a virus is it like enclosed quarters. That's how that thing spread. It likes something that done set out. Now I can let it sit. Remember, penicillin was made from mold, something that had set out. And they said, oh, well, let's test this. So we're going to take this dysfunction and give you an antidote that cure whatever fungus you got in your life. Wait, what? I'm trying to tell y'all, when you think on it on a whole bigger scale, right? So what is purpose? Purpose. Have as one's intention or objective. I purposely woke up with Fresh Start Friday on my mind. Dawn says she allergic. That's right, Dawn. Don't take the penicillin. Have one's intention or objective. Did you wake up this morning with a purpose? Because my purpose was fresh start. That was my purpose. Because I want to be organic in this moment. I don't want to be preserved. I don't want to be any of it. I want to be organic in this moment. Because what I've been putting on the shelf is not good for me or the people that I've been giving it to. Remember, some of us are asymptomatic. So therefore, we don't even realize we're spewing the infection on everything else. We're contaminated. You ready? Intention, resolution, determination. With purpose, you have to be intentional. That's why mindset matters, has to be intentional. In order to change your life, you must first change your mindset, and that has to be intentional. Nobody can change your mindset for you. Why is that? Because we've been conditioned to believe our situations and our circumstances, because we have been influenced by those other pillars: family, religion, peers, and our economic status, where we're at socially, right? So if everybody around me selling drugs, I've been conditioned to believe that I'm supposed to sell drugs, because I don't have no fresh start, because this is what I see, because it's been canned and preserved. Let me tell y'all how I think. I'm not gonna lie, because I coach people on all different kind of levels. So I know a couple of boys who are men who are pharmaceutical workers, but they didn't go to school for it. You feel me? Okay. So I never understood, like, I didn't like school not for me. Let me tell you how you wake up in the morning with a fresh start, right? So you telling me that you could take a dime bag or some stuff, hold it in your hand, and tell me that the weight is off. Because I'm going to show y'all about fresh start. Fresh start make you look at stuff a little bit different. But you let somebody tell you in school that you weren't good at math, but you know this ain't 10 ounces. You know this weight is off. I don't know if the weight off. I wouldn't be a good drug dealer, because I don't know. I think that's right. You're running a whole business. You got a whole team under you. You know how much money they supposed to make. You have done your target research, and yet you don't let somebody tell you you're not smart enough to run a business. Because you let them put you in a dysfunctional thing and say, well, everybody around you sell drugs. I see entrepreneurs and scientists. I don't know what you see. Because if I'm gonna get in this kitchen and know exactly how much of this crap I gotta put in this pot to make this stuff hot, I told y'all I know some people. I told you. To get the product like I like it. That means I done my target research. I picked my particular market. I know who like what. And you're gonna tell me that you're not smart enough to be in school? You're gonna tell me that you don't know how to run a business? Bruh, sis, you running a business, but you because you need a fresh start. You keep letting them preserve that stuff. You keep letting them put that stuff in there and tell you this is all you got. Now, out of all the corn, well, I don't even think we have real food no more, okay? I'm a little conspiracy theorist, okay? So I be like, all this stuff fake, right? So you take the corn I got and you take it off the thing. So you say you put it in this can, that's all I got. But I can take a seed and get a whole field of corn that I can have when it's in its proper season. Because see, some of us keep eating this stuff and it ain't in our season. But because dysfunction keeps us in this cycle, and we can't get off of it. Why? Because we're in confinement. Why? Because we feel unprotected and insecure. So we're sitting here. So how do you change your perspective? Let me tell y'all something. When you learn, what did we learn yesterday? Remove judgment. Remove judgment. Remove the judgment. How do I get a fresh start? Remove the judgment. Let me tell you something. Okay? Back in the day, y'all, I really did. This is the real personal, but we finna be for real, right? I used to want to be a stripper. Now let me tell y'all why. Remember I told you insecurities cause you to want power. So when I saw strippers on the pole, to me, they had the ability to control their environment. Meaning, you not gonna touch me for free, bruh. Right? Like that's in my head, that's how I saw it. So I was like, I think that's what I want to do. And then they were glorifying these positions. Okay, so they had movies out there, had you thinking like, oh, I can really do this. I can make this money and I'm going to control who comes in and out of my life. Remember, I was molested. I was violated. So being a mistress in my mind made sense. You go home to your wife. See, y'all, because y'all don't want to be real. Y'all don't understand how this stuff sit and preserves itself. Right? So you go back to your wife, because I don't want you in my house all the time, but you're going to pay for all my bills. That's dysfunction. That's dysfunction. That's dysfunction. But in my mind, I got power, not over myself, but over him or over them or over that event, over that situation. So now I've convinced myself that this is what I want to do. And I was like 13, 14, y'all, like I had this whole plan in my head. Because back then, sister was like built muscles and everything. I like 175. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. Because I used to lift weights. So I was like, oh yeah, this is the position for me. But let me tell you about purpose. Purpose was like, girl, you cannot be no stripper. But since you want to dance so much, I'm going to make you a praise dancer. Because I need you to take that same energy and apply it somewhere else. Because I need you to see a different perspective. I need you to have a fresh start. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? And I told y'all I grew up in the church, but let me explain to you, like I'm getting so excited. Because a lot of times they'll say stuff like, you know, anoint your head with oil, right? And my grandma them used to walk around the house and they'd be putting oil on stuff, right? They're anointing the oil, right? And then, you know, in the Bible with the children of Israel and them, God was like, apply that blood to that doorpost, because the death angel about to ride here in these streets. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So listen, y'all. Y'all ready? I want y'all to take notes on this, because the next time you say this, that's right. Purpose preserves. I like that, Festus. You don't need nobody to can you. You don't need a machine to come in and can you. Purpose preserves you. I like that, Festus. I like that. I like that. You hear me? So y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I'm excited. So you know how your grandma done be like, I'm anoint your head with oil, right? And the Bible says anoint thy head with oil, right? And then they applied the blood to the doorpost. And everybody around here anointing stuff. I was like, well, what does that mean? And it didn't come to me till this morning to look it up. Let me tell you about dysfunction. Dysfunction don't want you to wake up fresh. because it don't want you to take that history and learn from it. Remember, all dysfunction wants you to do is live life as a circle, as a situation. That's something you find yourself in. Dysfunction never wants you to live your life as a journey, because that's you going from place to place. Dysfunction does not want you to be empowered. It wants you to have power, but it wants to have power over you. You got to remember, empowerment is what? Is you gaining control over your life and claiming your rights. You becoming stronger and more confident. But let me tell you about the anointing, where it came from, and how we about to get rid of all this dysfunction, because this is not right. Let me tell you about that. Y'all ready? The origin of the anointing. All right? I'm so excited. It made me feel so good. All right. The origin of the anointing is when the shepherds of old, remember the sheep shepherds, them people, right? What they used, the reason that they anointed the sheep's head with oil. Remember, the head, right? It all started up here. The reason that they did it, y'all ready? Is because the sheep would get infested with lice and all other kind of bugs. That means you've gotten infested with dysfunction, right? So what happens with the infestation of the bugs is that it would get into the sheep's ears. So you got to be careful what go in here, because what go in here controls this and this. Oh, y'all think I'm lying. If you hear it wrong and make you feel some type of way, because it's always here. With that dysfunction talking in here, that dysfunction, because what you see here will control this and this. How it made you feel when they said it, how you heard it, listen, I'm so excited, right? So the reason that the shepherds anointed the sheep's head with the oil was so that the bugs could not get to the ears, because it had to stay so wet down and slick, the lice couldn't connect to it. The bugs couldn't infest the major part of it. Remember when you kept asking me, what's my dysfunction? Your dysfunction is you. Your dysfunction is you. Remember yesterday when we was trying to figure out what our trigger was, and our trigger was our insecurities. Our insecurities prevent us from hearing what we should hear. Our insecurities prevent us from, oh my God, y'all, I want to scream. I did not get this until this morning. The reason you have to anoint, the reason you have to, so is a man, the pout is here. It's here. You have to keep this covered. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. Listen to me. Listen to the importance of this. Is to keep this covered, because insecurities make you hear certain things that nobody even said. You hear with your emotions. Oh, I saw how she was looking at me, and when you seen it, your ears was like, she don't even like you. Because this. So that infestation, that lice, that, oh my God, them bugs, all kind of everything. Dysfunction wants to get here. Now let me tell you why. Because it's going to kill the sheep. The reason that it gets here, because everything is central here. If I get in here, I can get up here. I'm messing up my hair. I can get up here, right? Help me. Did I do it right? There you go. I can get here, right? If I get in here, I can get here. If I get here, I can get here. If I can get, I can infest you with this entry point. Why? Because so the reason that we empower ourselves, remember mindset. The whole time we've been talking about mindset. We've been talking about this, because if the infestation gets here, when you're a kid, a lot of times it's not necessarily the act, but it's what you hear that infests you. So if the purpose preserves you, like Festus said, because sometimes you don't even realize that the oil has already been placed on your head. You don't even realize it's been predestined for you to come out of this garbage. You don't even realize that, okay, so let me tell y'all, in my personal time, I'm sorry, y'all, it's coming to me. In my personal time with the Father. And he had gave me this scripture. Don't ask me where it's at. Y'all can find it. Okay, because I don't remember. It was like a couple of weeks ago. He said, I'm going to take you and I'm going to hide you under my pavilion. Why? Because that's my covering. right? That's that. He said, and then I'm going to take you and hide you in my secret tabernacle. So you're going to cover me and then put me in a preserved state for my purpose. Y'all ready? I'm so excited. Why? Why? Because I got to keep the infestation from getting here. Remember, I said way in the beginning, many of you think that this is possession. It's not. It's oppression. Because a lot of us are dying, not from the act of us being in that moment, but the memories are weighing us down. Remember, we had to use our SMART goals. Do y'all remember that? Specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely. But we had to use it with the dysfunction understanding, right? So now he said, I'm gonna hide you in my secret tabernacle, and then I'm gonna place you on a mountain. Now, let me explain something. A lot of stuff we all went through. Right? Should have killed us, because to us it was in plain sight. How they didn't know he was touching me? How come I saw my mama get in abusive relationships? And remember, we learned about statistics. Statistics told me I'm gonna be here forever. Statistics said, well, her mama had her at 14, so we gonna make sure she have her baby about 12. I didn't even listen. No, ma'am, no, sir. I had my first kid when I was 27. Statistics says you're gonna be in an abusive relationship. I have never been in an abusive relationship. Statistics said because of your learning disability, you're gonna pretty much struggle. Okay, I am an entrepreneur. I have clients around the world, but yet statistics said I'm not supposed to have none of this. But I was preserved. My purpose preserved me. Oh my God, my purpose preserved me. And when your purpose preserves you, it does not put you on a shelf. It puts you on a mountaintop, because they can't touch me because I'm covered. So sometimes they can't see you. Because if people understood my authentic purpose, then they would do what some people do to butterflies. They try to aid the butterfly out, and now the butterfly cannot fly. Now the butterfly cannot fly because you aided it. You made it come out too fast. You wanted to hurry up and get out. You wanted that to be your path so you could get to the other side, not realizing that it hindered you. It hindered you from getting to your purpose. So the only way we're going to have a fresh start is we got to anoint. We got to get this thing down of empowerment so slick that when we think, because see, listen, you could kind of feel the infestation on the body, and you could kind of do this, But when that thing get in here, it makes everything tainted. It makes everything crazy. It makes everything negative. It makes everything judgmental, because this is the sinus right here. When this act up, let me tell you something. I got vertigo on one of these sides, right? That thing here mess with my eyes will turn in circles like this. It affects my head. It makes me nauseous, because this is the gateway to so much stuff. That's why mindset matters, y'all. That's why you have to understand how to listen. Your purpose is what preserved you. And you, oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So empower yourself. That's not you being encouraged. I keep telling y'all that encouragement come and go. Empowerment gives you the ability to be free. Freedom. Take this Fresh Start Friday. Anoint your head. How do I do that? You empower yourself with the proper tools, resources, and a strategic plan of action. When you started this morning, it was surprising and alarming when you made up your mind that dysfunction will no longer control me. Ever since we started this thing last month, Veronica, Jeanette, and Miss Susan been on here faithfully, and Festus been on here faithfully and dedicated. What does that mean? They are anointing their heads. They are getting themselves covered because they don't want the infestation to get in their ears. They are choosing to kill the virus because it has to have a living host. How many times are you going to just pass the same mountain over and over and over and over again? Listen. Oh my gosh. Y'all got crunk. I'm sweating. I always sweat. But I wouldn't have this. Listen. I tell people this all the time. And people laugh at me. Veronica's going to laugh. I am not a preacher, okay? I'm a life coach. And I love what I do. But I tell you this because my purpose preserved me. Your purpose preserved you. I had so many dysfunctions that lined me up to be destroyed. So many things had lined me up to be everything but what my purpose had instructed me to be. I didn't have to find my purpose. When I was born, I was already in my purpose. But dysfunction has a way of trying to derail you. Purpose says, in spite of that, you're still on the right path. That's why I said, do not regret your history. Do not regret that past. That stuff you just trying to pass from one side to the next. Don't do that. 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 Because your purpose has preserved you. Take the confinement off. Allow purpose to help you remove those insecurities. Continue to anoint your head so the infestation don't get in your ears and kill you along with your purpose. You have to be so intentional about your mindset that you don't. Let me tell you something. I know how to change the subject real quick. Because what I'm not going to do is put my mouth. Remember, judgment will have you doing all kind of stuff. You welcome, Kendra. Judgment will have you doing all kind of stuff. You hear me? Because you don't want to focus on that nonsense. You about blind in this eye. But you got perfect vision for other people's foolishness. Get out of here. Get your life. Let's do better. We got to do better. But what you have to understand, y'all, with this fresh start, it has to be organic. And I know some of y'all thinking, Tisha, how we going to have an organic start with all this dysfunction that been with us? Yeah, that's fine. But all you got to do is knock it off the shelf. Remember what I told y'all in the beginning. You control this. When you self-reflect and become aware of self, it gives back the authority and the power to you. You have the ability to kill the dysfunction and not continue to spread the infestation. A lot of you are products of words that came out of the mouth of those that you trusted. That's why when moms and dads, especially dads, be upset because their daughters letting some man cuss them out, but yet they watch you cuss your mama, watch you cuss their mother out, or even at them sometimes. And then you got the audacity to be upset because she went to a man who did the same thing. Come on now. Let's not do that. Or you were the mother and you said all kind of stuff to your children and said all kind of crazy things to them when they were growing up and said, oh, you know I love you still. No, I don't know. I don't know that. See, you talking to somebody who grandma told her God didn't want to hear nothing she had to say. But babe, I promise you to this day, you better not cross my grandma. Because now I understand my history. And I understand the dysfunction, the abnormal behavior. You're talking to somebody who sat at the age of 8, 9, 10, I can't remember. And auntie called her a whore, told the kids don't play with that whore. But I promise you, you better not cross her. Because now that I understand my history and I understand the story, that's what the dysfunction don't want you to do. Because the minute you understand that history, the minute you start doing that research, the minute you start pulling them roots up and exposing that garbage, it no longer allows you to put that toxic crap on the shelf for the next generation to deal with. Because listen, anything not organic, a lot of times ain't got no real expiration date. That stuff can sit on the shelf for decades. That candy we keep buying, but well, I don't buy for the holidays, Christmas and Easter and all these other things y'all be celebrating out here. Do y'all know how long that candy been on that shelf? That stuff not fresh. That stuff been up there for a minute. Because if they ain't selling it, they just put it back. How long have you allowed this dysfunction to sit on the shelf? And who are you waiting to pass it to? Whew. Y'all, I feel good. So for fresh start, you see this white back here? Y'all determine what that look like for you. You determine what that feels like. You determine how you want that to be. And remember, your purpose, as Festus has told us, preserved you. That's why you did not die. That's why it did not kill you. Because your purpose anointed. So a lot of us think that we are possessed. You're just oppressed. Remove the weight. This isn't measurable for me. I can't have my fresh start if I'm still wearing my past. And the only way I'm going to stop wearing my past is if I study my history and expose the infestation. It's all in how you see a thing. Fresh start. Remember people like I rested and I got a fresh start and da da da, because you have preserved a thing. You have rested your eyes. But when them lice and them bugs get in the sheep ears, it kills you. That's the whole issue with dysfunction. It is to kill you. It is to destroy your purpose. And it's because you out here trying to find your purpose. No, ma'am. No, sir. Just walk in it. The dysfunction, it literally was trying to deter you. Everything I went through would say I should not be here right now today. Everything I've been through say you should not be in Florida having clients in Nigeria. Everything I went through say I should be probably somewhere on a stripper pole, messing with a married man. I probably wouldn't have had no kind of kids, and I'd have been an angry little bitter little black woman. I would have been. That's what dysfunction wanted me to do. But purpose said, no ma'am. Just keep walking. Just keep going. I don't care how ugly the past look. I need you to date that as history so you can learn from it. If your mama mouth was reckless towards you and you have kids, your mouth is reckless towards your kids. I need you to know that. Stop that. Let's not preserve that dysfunctional behavior. If your father was not there for your kids and now you're a man and you have kids and my daddy wasn't there for me, I'm there for mine. Because being there is not just a physical thing. It's an emotional thing. It's a spiritual thing. This thing is a connection. So when you get to that next step, how do I get that fresh start? The fresh start is the evolvement. The fresh start, y'all, is the evolvement. Evolve means forward movement. You're not stuck. Come out the prison of confinement, of dysfunction. Continue to anoint your head so the dysfunction don't get in your ears, because it affects all of this. When this is clogged up, you get a headache. When this is off, it messes with your balance. You can't see straight. Oh, I promise you, vertigo was a mess. But I guess that was part of our purpose, y'all. Because now I know what that feels like. When this ain't right, oh my God. Everything, your eyesight not right, your eyes flooping around like this, you want to vomit, you can't keep your balance because it's infested you here. Because what's here, it travels up here. So now when y'all go to church and stuff like that, and the pastor be like, come up here so I can anoint your head with oil. Now you understand that what they're trying to do is keep, hopefully this is what they're trying to do. Because sometimes I think people do stuff out of habit with no understanding. I've been in church all this time, and ain't nobody ever tell me where anoint my head with oil came from. It came from the shepherds trying to keep the lice out the sheep's ears so it did not kill them. Dysfunction wants to destroy your mind. Because when this ain't together, what you see ain't together, what you hear not together, what you say not together, what you touch not together, where you go is not together. Let's kill dysfunction. How? We acknowledge it, we accept it, we embrace it, and then we evolve from it. I understand my history. I had to pull it up from the root and expose it. Because in order for this dysfunction not to go nowhere else, I have to kill it. And if that means I gotta burn it, then that's what I'm gonna do. But it has to die. Some of this stuff is gonna be a little bit more deeper for some of you guys. It's gonna self-reflection manifest. All the stuff. Remember, self-reflection. No, was it self-reflection, pain, and power. And remember, we don't want power. Dysfunction wants you to want power. For those of you who went on here the other day, power is control over people and or events. That's what dysfunction wants you to have. Power. So it can have power over you. We realized yesterday that our triggers was our insecurities. Those were our triggers. But our whole focus is empowerment. To empower means to become stronger and more confident, gaining control over your life and your rights. When I tell you this, today is your fresh start. Today is your organic day. Today is your beginning, honey. You don't, it's a mindset. This was your every day we get up, Monday through Friday. That's the anointed to keep that stuff from getting in there. And so the empowerment, knowledge is power. For those that go to church, what they say, my people perish for lack of what? Knowledge. Why? Because some of y'all got the knowledge, but it ain't gonna do no good if you don't use it. Like, I don't understand. Why get up this early with me to say you were here? No, let that oil get on there so that way it don't get here. And for those of us who are already infested with dysfunction, purpose, as Festus said, preserved us. So now I don't feed my dysfunction. Remember, we was feeding our insecurities in a confined space. Remember, perfection is just dysfunction disguised as beauty. Right here. That's all I got for you. So, over the weekend, from this day forward, every morning you wake up, that's your first start. I need you to acknowledge that dysfunction. Accept that dysfunction. Embrace it. Bring it in. Be like, you know what? It's me. And then evolve from it. Even though I say the process really fast, it's not that fast. Because acknowledgement, that's that self-reflection. It bring up some stuff. Acceptance, because see, when I say accept that it's me, I'm not saying I was the one that violated myself. That's not what I'm telling you. But I accepted the fact that I had been conditioned to say, well, the reason I act like this is because of this. And I allowed the dysfunction of my violation to hinder me and keep me captive in a prison. Yep, applied knowledge is wisdom. And wisdom is something that we all want. Embrace her, hold her, love her. So until, y'all, I promise you, I probably could keep going, but I'm not. Until Monday, okay? I need us all to have our fresh starts. I need us all to be prepared to anoint this. Get as much information as you can get now. Figure out how to continue to empower yourself and apply it with a strategic plan of action. If you know clocking in ain't for you, then figure out how to start your own business. If you know what you need to do is going to require you to go to school, then I'm going to need you to do that. Okay? Just apply it. So until Monday, y'all, I promise y'all, I want to sing my Celebrate song. I want to do all of that. And I was just like, you're welcome, Miss Susan. I was like real excited. And then it didn't go that way. But it went the way it was supposed to go. So this morning, now every morning I'm going to look at what I do different. It's anointing the head. I love that. So the lights don't get in your ears and kill you. I love that. I promise you guys, that part I just got this morning. Thank you, Miss Janet. Thank you. Wow. I'm telling y'all got me so excited. So Monday, again, I don't know. We're going to find out what Monday's topic is, probably like Saturday, Sunday. We'll figure it out. And just go from there. Remember, guys, I love all of you. I thank you. For those of you who are not following my business page, please do that. For those of you who want the Mindset Matters course, when I tell you I'm so excited, I have people in Nigeria taking the course. I have people in Alaska taking the course. I have people in Canada taking the course. I've had people in Belize take the course. Like, that makes me excited. And it's $99 for all 7 weeks. Like, you're not paying all the time, just that one-time thing. And it's a video, so you can just keep watching it. And then you have to journal your stuff, and every 7 days, a new module opens up. That's that stuff. That's help you become self-aware. So if you want that class, you can register for that at latishaanderson.org and go to the shop, and you'll see it. It say Mindset Matters Bootcamp. Because, listen, I'm as animated here, okay, as I am in them videos. It's just that they're a lot shorter. So I love you guys. Thank y'all for giving me the most valuable thing you possess, and that's your time. Oh, and for those of you who want to keep a journal, VeronicaScurry.com is doing journals and note take. Listen, I'm always about empowerment, honey. I'm just waiting on Miss Jeanette to finish her book, and Miss Susan to start this whole empowerment thing. Miss Susan on a whole nother level. Festus is a graphic designer. Don sells homes and houses in Lakeland. Listen. I like all of this. I like all of this. So on Fridays, I make sure I highlight people. Why? Because it's fresh start. You need a graphic designer? That's Festus. He got a whole team of men. I'm telling y'all, in Nigeria. Dawn is amazing. She does real estate. Veronica does empowerment. She does affirmation. She does, oh my God. But her journals are amazing, guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm waiting on Miss Jeanette to finish that book. Miss Teresa does paparazzi. I'm gonna have to get her so she can put some, I can get some jewelry or something. Because I feel like my neck is like. So I love you guys. And I'm ready to go. I don't even know, my husband told me something. But I'm ready to go. All right. So I love you guys. It's amazing. I thank y'all. And let me think. That's it. So until Monday, same time, same place, you guys make it a great day. Have a fresh start every day. Don't just simply be encouraged. Thank you, Festus. Be empowered. All right. So y'all, there go. Y'all can go through here. Y'all can network and do what y'all do. I love y'all. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.